tell him to meet somebody like you.
Huh?
I met you, tell him to meet somebody like his mom.
Yeah, but you met me, but you wasn't good to me.
Have you all seen the latest episode of Love is Blind? If you haven't, skip this video and go watch it and then come back to this chat. But let's talk about Clay and AD's mom and dad and the conversation that they had. A realer conversation has never been had on the show, and it's real moments like these that makes me love watching Love is Blind, because as much as it's based on drama, it's moments like these that sets it in for reality and makes you really see that these are real people with real lives. And I really love this scene with Clay's mom and dad, now divorced, talking about how their marriage has impacted Clay's vision of what a marriage is, and has impacted his inability to commit and to make a decision and to believe in the foundation of marriage. And a part of the conversation that stood out to me was the fact that they spoke about the generational curse and his father trying to justify his behavior and his actions within his marriage and blaming it down to the fact that he didn't have the appropriate example or a father to show him the right way. And Clay's mom is so wise. I really love this woman. She was like, don't make excuses. Not because we came from a broken family doesn't mean that we need to pass down this generational curse. It should end with us. So you need to apologize. You need to come to him and be honest and bare yourself and let him know what it was and what it is. And I thought about Exodus 34:7, where in the Bible where it says that the iniquity of the fathers on the children and the children's children to the third and the fourth generation. This worries me because my family and a lot of families has skeletons in their closet. And sometimes we think about the past sins that our family has done, and then we look at our lives and we see that we're mimicking the same kind of behaviors, the same kind of toxic traits. And as much as I would have loved, for Clay and AD to get married, I think Clay has a lot of demons and a lot of things that he's still struggling with, because he saw his father and his mother, they were together for over 20 years. But his father used to take him on his escapades while he went out and to cheat on his mother. But he would come home and still be with his mother. And he saw his mother have to go through that. And for him, even though he's separate and apart and he's his own person, he is his own man and individual, he sees so much of his father in him. This is the man that he has emulated and wanted to be like since he was a child. The number one man in his life, his father, and his father, his idol, couldn't stay committed, couldn't keep that commitment of being loyal in his marriage. So for him, it's only right that he's questioning himself and his capacity to do right by AD. And while it pains me to see, I love AD, it pains me to see her crying, but cry now because it would have hurt more later. It would have hurt more later. And it really puzzled me throughout the show, hearing Clay constantly go back to the fact that he's not sure about the fact that he could be faithful. He wants to do good. He wants to do good. But he himself is not sure, because he knows, just like his father, he's a cheater. And he's not sure that he will be able to be honest and to love AD and give her everything that she needs. So in the end, I think it's a good decision. But to go back to this conversation, I really love Rita. This woman is wise, and I think she's wise because she has lived and seen and experienced a lot, and she's speaking from a place and space of wisdom and of having lived an experience with a man that was present but not faithful to her. And the father, I think for some reason, he also has a lot of trauma that he has to deal with, that he hasn't dealt with. And he tries to justify it by saying that maybe his son should find a woman like her, his mother. But I love, when she stated that, yes, you found a good woman in me, but you weren't faithful to me. So the issue is not finding a good woman. The issue is the fact that there is this disobedience, this spirit of disloyalty that has taken hold on the men in your generation, and that he needs to rather be clear and open with Clay and help him in his journey towards healing, because he's still struggling with all the issues and his childhood and him taking him on his escapades while he went to see other women and do God knows what. Since the beginning of this season, I think Clay and AD have been an infuriating story, because there have been so many red flags. And AD, because she's such a healer, she's always the type to carry the men in her relationship. And she's a type, she's a nurturing type. So she's always been the one to be there and try to build these men up. And in the end, which is why it hurts so much, she has never been enough for them. And I get it. And I feel like early on, she expressed that she has a habit to try to fix men and she needs to break out of it. But then she fell right into that trap with Clay, because Clay is her typical type, the type that she would go for. And, hung up on the physical and haunted by his father's infidelity. This is the type, guys, who are superficial and hung up on their trauma. And for a moment, I thought he was capable of maybe seeing beyond and really taking responsibility and ownership over this trauma, and really seeing that AD was there and that she would be there to accompany him to the other side. But I think his self-awareness about how difficult his parents' marriage was and his lack of black male role models made it hard for him to imagine monogamy and fidelity. And it seems, I think